And now we get to the Black Panther numbers. This is where it gets interesting. What's up, guys? Doc Ito here with an Alita update. The doctor is in today. I'm excited to be back in Doc Ito's clinic. I have all my equipment for all the repairs we're about to do after being gone on official Hunter Warrior duty. Today, we are going to investigate this $1 million drop. I've finally had a few hours to go through this, and I will let you know what I think. Is this unique? Is Alita the only movie this has happened to? I've spent a lot of time on this, and I'll let you know what I found. Also, we're talking a little about this article that just dropped. Alita Battle Angel 2, will a sequel be in the works? We have a lot to get to, so buckle up and let's do it. First, the reminders. The Alita petition is still going on. The votes keep coming in. We are at 11,560 plus. This is great. We are now actually building. We were getting about 200 votes a day. We are now getting more. And while this isn't anything official, I think it's still great. The more we can do to spread the word and to get Alita a shot at a sequel, the more we will do. We know the social media is still down. We are the voice of Alita. We do not stand by in the presence of evil. Some in the media don't want us to talk about Alita. We will not stand by, and we will not be quiet. If you haven't, go to IMDb, Rotten Tomatoes, and Metacritic and vote for the movie. It's still at a 7.6, 94%, and 8.8, which are great numbers, but let's see if we can get them any higher. Check out the links below to support Alita, and remember to like and subscribe to the channel so Doc Ito can keep bringing these free repairs. An update on the Alita Blu-ray, it is still not available for pre-order. Best Buy thinks Alita is Alexa, or Amazon. It's trying to sell me an Echo. Alita is not available on Amazon itself. And some people gave me blowback for bringing this issue up, but I do think it's important. Some people didn't understand that I was talking about the pre-order availability for the movie, not the actual release date. Here's my analysis again updated. Most movies get a pre-order available within 18 days of release and way over 2 months before the movie's actually out. With the street date of May 14th, if the pre-order drops tomorrow, we have only 34 days from when the movie comes out. No movie that I've found had this little amount of time from the time the pre-order came out to when the movie was available. Now, I did get a message from Reg Vega on Twitter who went to Specs, a subsidiary of FYE, and they had a pre-order available with the release date of May 14th. So that matches up with my conversations with 20th Century Fox. So I think May 14th is going to be go time. But again, we are looking at only a month if the movie gets a pre-order this week, which I think is crazy. One of the other reasons pre-orders matter is because it helps stores gauge how many movies to buy to get in stock and how big to advertise the movie. So if a movie's getting a lot of pre-orders and there's a lot of buzz, they can do analytics to say this is going to be a hot movie. Let us advertise this movie. Let's put it up in the front location, have big billboards, and that actually helps sales even more. By not having a month to get this information out, by waiting so long, I'm afraid retailers are going to lose a little bit of their excitement to advertise this movie. So once we do get the pre-order, we have to be very aggressive with promoting this movie. We are not standing by and we are fighting. I don't think this is necessarily a conspiracy or anything like that. I think it's just due to the fact of the Disney merger. They have a lot going on and this fell through the cracks. And I really hope they get their act together and we get a pre-order soon and we get a good Blu-ray. We are talking about extended cut, deleted scenes, and the whole thing. I do not want them skimping on this Blu-ray because it's going to be played for a long time in a lot of houses. Let's talk about this article real quick at Business Times. This is a Chinese website and we are on the English edition. Alita Battle Angel 2, will a sequel be in the works? You can read this article. I'm actually not going to spend too much time on it. It's very similar to prior articles. This is mostly a rehash of the latest Forbes article talking about how the movie got over 400 million. It didn't flop. They talk about this theory again that Disney's going to ask them to make Alita Battle Angel on Disney+. Then they talk about the release date, which again was from the Forbes article. So mostly this is a rehash of that Forbes article. Like I said, I don't want to spend too much time on it, but it's obviously good to get more press, more positive press about a possible sequel. And this is again part of the importance of the media narrative, where a positive article or a hit piece has reverberations way beyond that initial article. And we'll be covering this more in the future. So I did cover the box office drop yesterday, but let's go into a lot of detail here to try to explain to you guys what is going on and where I think we're headed. As of last Sunday, Alita had 317.7 million, but then an update on Tuesday brought it down to 316.4, a loss of 1.3 million. I've been keeping track of these numbers, and this has happened before. On March 19th, the foreign numbers only went up 100,000, which is not enough for 2 days. The next week, we lost a million from 316.1 to 315.1, and the next week we lost another 1.3 million in the foreign numbers. Last time this number went down, after the correction, the $1 million was essentially returned to Alita on the following weekend, based on my analysis of the box office drop. But now we've seen that it's been removed again. These are what I call stealth edits, because you have these Tuesday edits that then when you try to find the weekend numbers, they disappear. So you can see each weekend what the total was, with the 317.7 still listed. However, the Tuesday is gone. So it's hard to track if this change happens all the time to other movies as well. To try to answer this question, last Friday, I started taking screenshots of all the major movies out to see if we can find any that have these Tuesday edits. Most movies did not have a midweek update, including The Lego Movie, How to Train Your Dragon, Tyler Perry's, Gloria Bell, 5 Feet Apart, and Us. However, What Men Want did, with a 15.7 million reported midweek compared to a 15.3 the prior weekend, an increase of 300,000. Captain Marvel was 644.5 compared to 638. This is still early on in its progression, so of course it's going up as it's making still millions a day. Wonder Park was at 15.3 during the middle of the week and 14.4 the prior weekend. And these are all the movies out in theaters that have had this midweek update right now, and all of them have gone up. To find out if these midweek corrections have happened in the past and movies have lost money, I use the Wayback Machine at archive.org to find the foreign numbers from a bunch of different movies to try to find a midweek correction. Now, these are often just sporadic, but for instance here with Jurassic World, you can see on the 28th of July, on a Saturday, it actually does have the box office numbers from that midweek correction. And here, the movie was at 823,480. The prior Monday, it was at 813,800. So again, the movie did make money. This was when it was making a good amount of money. So using this strategy, I looked through dozens of movies to try to find these midweek corrections in the past, these stealth updates. Here's one on Aquaman, January 30th, 778 million, and a couple days before, 775. So it went up 3 million. Another one from Aquaman from 803, previously 800.7. Again, it went up. Deadpool 2, 379.6, 376.5. Couple days prior, again going up. Bohemian Rhapsody going up a few million. This one had a lot of archived Tuesday, Wednesday updates, and they all went up. Now, Wonder Woman was a little bit interesting. On August 13th, it was at 395.2, and 4 days earlier it was at 394.9. It's unlikely the movie only made 300,000 in those couple days, because at this stage it was still making a lot. So there may have been a little downward correction here. I also looked at the weekend numbers from various big movies, because they do archive them from weekend to weekend to look for any inconsistencies. Here, Avengers Infinity War went from 1.36773 from one weekend to the next weekend to the exact same number. And we know the movie made at least 5K that weekend. So here's an instance where the database didn't update at all. Solo here, we actually find something a little bit interesting, 179,081, but then the following weekend, 179,030. So that was a loss of 50,000, even though the movie made at least 30 at the box office. So this is a drop of at least 100,000 during this weekend for Solo. And here's another example of this, which I found in Black Panther. So 645,303 on April 29th. And then the next weekend, 645,192. So this is a drop of 100,000, but the movie actually made about 500,000 in that weekend alone. Given the weekly numbers, you would expect this number to be about 1 million higher. And then the following weekend was consistent with the drop. So here is the one example I found. In Black Panther on May 4th to 6th weekend, it appears to have maybe about a $500 to $1 million drop. It's the only example I have found. So where does that leave us? I don't think there's a conspiracy here. I think this is just Box Office Mojo's update. I think it just happened that They may have had something wrong in their database. They're working on it, and either this million is going to pop back or it's not. But I don't think there's a conspiracy here. I don't think there's anything malicious against this movie from a box office standpoint. It's disheartening. It's disappointing. We want the number as high as possible. But at the same time, we did amazing. We got over 400 million. We got double what they expected us to do. This movie is a box office success. It's going to get back its cost and make a profit. So we can be proud of that. And whether we get this million or not doesn't make a big difference in the final numbers. Also, the studio knows what the numbers are. They are not shocked. They know what they're expecting and they know what they're going to get. So whether or not Box Office Mojo reports the number accurately or not does not make a big difference. We'll have to see what happens with the next update. Last time it dropped, it came back, so I'm hopeful for the same. But even if it doesn't, we're going to be fine. We're going to Zalem. Let's take a look at the box office numbers. The final numbers are in over the weekend, and it was 170,000 weekend. On Monday, we only made 18,000. This is a significant drop of 70% from the previous drop, which was also close to 60%. So the movie's really dropping a lot faster than expected. My model had it dropping not quite as much, but with the loss of so many theaters, it's very difficult to predict, and it's very difficult for this movie to make a lot of money going forward. According to Box Office Mojo, we're at 401.7. According to the numbers, we're at 402.6. So that's about $1 million difference. Now, these foreign numbers on the numbers are up to date from April 9th. Box Office Mojo has not updated yet, but 317.3, while higher than 316.4, is still lower than the prior week's value of 317.7. So even if this 317.3 is true, we're still looking at a $500,000 drop. That's before we consider how much money the movie made over this week. So even the numbers is consistent with a decrease in the Alita box office numbers, potentially close to that 1 million we were talking about. When you run the numbers over this past week, in the US we had 360,000, in China about 100,000, and the rest of the world I'm estimating about 200,000. It might be a little bit higher. In the US, we're at 85.3 million, in China 133.1, and we're at least at 401.8. This is taking into account the Box Office Mojo numbers. So this is a worst case scenario. Adding in my foreign estimates, we're at 402.0, and if the numbers is to be trusted, we might actually be at 402.6. My analysis says we are only going to make about 300,000 more. I could be wrong, and I'll go into this maybe later this week, but if things go as they have been going, we're probably going to reach 402 to 403, maybe a little over 403, but I don't think we're getting to 405 unless something special happens. I'm going to be monitoring these Tuesday updates for movies in theaters going forward. Keep on fighting for Alita. Remember to like and subscribe to support the channel. Check out the links below to support the movie. We do not stand by in the presence of evil. We will not be quiet, and we will be fighting for our sequel. Y'all have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon. Doc out.